Tony, Marcus. All right. I'm back. I'm still alive. What are your thoughts on Close Up and Today, Tomorrow and Forever? Hello, Mal. Doing the dishes. I like Close Up and Today, Tomorrow and Forever. I think, yeah, they're worth buying. Harold? I haven't played them for a long time, but they had new stuff on them. I can't remember what right now. They're up there. But if you haven't got them, they're worth getting. David, hello. I'm doing okay. I've had a few good days. The medication they put me on now really has stabilized the situation. So instead of getting serious pain, I just get like a dull ache in the center of my chest. So I should be okay until they finally get me back into hospital and sort it out. Hello, Paul. It's quite warm at the moment. I've had to shut the window because it's too noisy out there. But we've had a nice sunny day again. We'll give some more people a chance to join before we get going. Close up, where is it? There's Close Up. So it's been a long time since I've played it. Perhaps I need to play it again to remind myself of what's actually on it. It's funny, I tend to play the same things. I have a playlist on my iPad. And that tends to be what I listen to. Oh, David's been in hospital. Respiratory failure. Well, it's good to see you back then. 4 months. Jeez. See, no matter how bad things are, there's always somebody who's got it worse. Probably like me, I'm just happy every time I go out. I smile when I look around, and I'm not going to let anything get me down. Nothing's that important, because I could have been 6 foot under right now. Harold, do you like From Elvis Presley Boulevard? I love it. Yeah, I think it's a great album. I know some people don't like it because the songs are a bit down, but I think it's a great album. Gregory. Hello, Gregory. Harold's got it hot in Vienna. I think it's hot everywhere at the moment. Marcus is off to Graceland in a week. Wow, I wish I was. Jack, 1 o'clock in Michigan. David, yeah. I didn't have to go on oxygen once. That was in the ambulance when I had the actual heart attack. But yeah. Well, hopefully you're through the worst and make a full recovery. When you've had a serious illness, it really puts everything else into perspective. All the things that you used to worry about suddenly don't seem that important anymore. Sean, hello. It's good to see everybody coming in. 17 already. Marcus is trying to lose some weight. It's not easy, is it? I've been lucky. I'm one of those annoying people that whatever I eat, I never seem to put any weight on. But my wife was trying to lose weight, found it very difficult, and then she had cancer. And as a way to lose weight, it's very effective, but not recommended. But thankfully, she came through it. A horrible year. She suffered a lot, but there you go. Rob, hello. David needs to get the Blue Hawaii sessions. Absolutely. A present to yourself. I love the Blue Hawaii sessions. I first had them on cassette tapes. Somebody did a series of them. And I really like listening to them. Sean, give up cheese. I know. I did the cardio rehab course and they had this long list of things that you're not supposed to eat. And it was everything that I liked, everything that was tasty. But heart attack gives you the encouragement to stop eating them. You are allowed a little treat now and then. So there you go. Marcus, yeah, I've been there. Anything that tastes good, don't eat it. You just have to be sensible. It's very easy to slip into bad habits eating food. Because I think that's all it was that did for me, because I always kept myself fit. Never smoked, never touched drugs. So the food got me. But hopefully everybody else is in good health. Marcus, if you were to choose between How Great Thou Art sessions and Blue Hawaii sessions, which would you choose? Blue Hawaii, I would choose. How Great Thou Art sessions are great, but I didn't find them that interesting. There wasn't a lot of variation. I don't know how everybody else feels about it. From that point of view, I was a bit disappointed in them. But I suppose if you're doing religious songs, you're not really going to experiment, are you? Sean, did you pick up the new MOVs you were after? I did. They arrived a couple of days ago. Now these were two that I've been looking for some time. They just never seem to turn up. Viva Elvis, the album. So this is the Cirque du Soleil soundtrack. Now it's not something I would have bought, but I want to try and get all the MOVs. So the other one was Elvis 56. It comes with a double sheet of photographs and a chronology of the year 1956. So I have the CD version. That's two more I can cross off. And I picked up another of the VPI releases. I do wonder why they put his hand in mine and Elvis's back together. I'd have preferred them separately. I don't think they belong together. But there you go. The other thing that I got this week, now in America this is very common. Over here, not easy to find. So this was RCA Special Products at Brookville Records. I believe it was advertised on the television. And it came with a booklet which is was with it. So I was pleased to get that, because I'm also after the special product albums. Right, where have I got to on here? Tony's having total hip replacement on Tuesday. Well, good luck for that. Let us know how it goes. Rob, Elvis 56 is such cool artwork. Yes, Alfred Wertheimer, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. His photographs. Sean really likes Suspicious Minds versions on Viva Elvis. Right, so I've never heard them. It's not something that I would play. So they've actually got different backing tracks on them. Perhaps I better give it a listen then, just see what it's like. Sounds like Elvis with U2 as the backing band. Not a fan of U2. Harold, I bought the original Viva Elvis album in 2011 in Memphis. Sure. Terrible cover on the Elvis in Hollywood. Yeah. I think it's a... It looks like it's a reproduction of a reproduction of a reproduction. There's the back. Booklet's special TV edition photo album. The funny thing was, when I bought it, they didn't mention that the booklet was with it. So it was a nice surprise. So it's a nice book. A bit like a tour program sort of thing. Now, one thing I have to do at some point, of course, is draw the winner of that, which I mentioned quite a long time ago. I said on the next live I'll do the draw, so I've got all the names in a hat, so at some point I'll draw the name out. Let's see if I can remember where I got to. Harold, any new CDs or cassettes? No new cassettes. I've got 3 CDs, which I haven't put away yet. Romantique, so this is a French. I can't remember when it arrived, but I haven't filed it yet, so it's a bit odd. It's love songs, except the last track, which is My Way, which I would never describe as a love song. Elvis at his romantic best, another RCA Special Products. "14 tracks. Again, I wouldn't describe them all as romantic. There you go. And this one, which was a promo, the Honeymoon Companion. It was actually part of the promotion for the film Honeymoon in Vegas. Promo only, not for sale. Tell the dealers that. Gregory found the Clambake soundtrack LP at a record store with the photo still inside. Nice. Kurt, hello. Hot and humid South Carolina. See, it seems to be hot everywhere. Paul managed to buy 50 mint Elvis cassettes for £40. That's a good buy. Harold, a bootleg CD of Elvis in Hollywood is also available with the same cover art. Right. Harold, a single CD was also available. Sean, what do you make of the upcoming Memphis releases? Of course, I'll have to buy them. Disappointed that there's nothing new. I know they've been remixed, but yeah. I was watching somebody's channel. They were talking about the remixes on the live CD. Now, who was it? And some very strange choices. I didn't like what I heard. Can't remember who it was I was watching. I like the idea, but apparently they've left off some really good tracks. But they've left on 3 corn patches. Strange. But the artwork looks nice on the sets. Harold, do you have the Love Me Tender cassette from 1987? Don't think so. It doesn't ring a bell. I've been trying to concentrate on the UK orange paper label cassettes. But don't think I've got Love Me Tender. Marcus, the Red Graceland exclusive vinyl is already sold out. Yeah. I did see it for sale. I think they wanted £80 for it. But I gave it a pass. Which box set vinyl version of the Artist of the Century do you have? I've got the picture disc one. I have looked at the, I think it's purple. I did look at that and I almost bought it. But I didn't press buy. I did nearly buy something I already had. I had it in the basket and I was about to press play and something in my head told me to just check. It would have been a lot of money. I do have down here a little pile of records that I've bought, not realizing I've already got it. Tony, have you bought the CD set or the album? Is this the Memphis set? Which one are you talking about? I'll be buying both if I get it. Paul, is the picture from Elvis Memphis the one with Mr. Humperdinck? I think it might be. There was something familiar about it. That might be it. Sean, some odd choices. Yeah, I agree, Sean. When again, I can't remember who was talking about it. And I think they left off Thinking About You as well, which are songs I really like. Sean's ordered the red vinyl. I have ordered the Graceland That's Alright Mama disc, which is on its way. Tony, yeah, the Memphis set. I'll get both the CD and the album. Starting to go back to the good old days when I would go into town and buy the album on vinyl, CD and cassette all at the same time. Paul, yeah, when I had that poster printed, they said, "Would you like a T-shirt as well?" So I thought, well, why not? I love that picture. Why was it never a poster before? Sean, you're right about the vinyl addiction. David, what next from FTD? Of course, there's the mine's just gone blank. The somebody help me. What's the sessions? Guitar Man sessions coming. That's right, isn't it? For some reason, my mind's got jumbled up. Yeah, Guitar Man, which I'm really looking forward to. When people say the 68 was the comeback, I don't agree. Elvis came back earlier. He started to take recording seriously again and had good songs, and I think those sessions are the true beginning of the comeback, because there's some great songs. You are definitely a true collector. I think serious collecting, is genetic. I think there's just something in you, even as a kid. I remember looking at my dad brought home this. He was for a while he was a milkman, and he brought home his leather bag full of coins and asked us kids to help him sort them out. And I started noticing the different monarchs and the different verses, and we could have £1 for helping him. So I would choose 2p pieces with different years on them and this kind of thing, and try and get all the years. So I think it is something that's just in you. But going back to David, there's also the Celluloid Sellout Volume 2. But what we want, of course, is Girl Happy on vinyl. Harold, that's it. Wawa. Drink Wawa and you can say, is that him? Squirty looking guy. Sean. Yeah, the FTDs will be delayed. Mal, did you get the vinyl box set of the last movie sessions? From Emma. That. Oops. It's a really nice set. It's done like a book. I like these, but I wish they'd make something a bit cheaper occasionally. Oh, find my original fan club badge. Paul, just pay good money for the Italian version of Elvis in Memphis. Lost in the post. Oh no, hopefully it was insured. I'm actually going to do a video on from Elvis in Memphis. Where was it? It's up here somewhere. That one. I found it in the post. It might still turn up. It might be customs playing silly buggers. I've bought quite a lot of records from Japan and they've always come through no problem. And I got a date with Elvis. It arrived fine. And then about a week later, a customs bill for 45 quid dropped through my letterbox. And I thought, well, why this time? I bought more expensive things. Never had a custom charge. And there's no point in trying to fight it. You just have to pay it and write it off. Tony's still got his badge. Is it the same badge? I assume it was the same. See, Mike Stone has written a book. I can't say it's a book that I particularly want to read. I don't really care what he has to say. Anybody going to read it? Sean, nobody warned me about static. Yeah. Static. I wonder if it's because the heavier vinyl. There was one of the record store day records. I could hardly get it out the sleeve. And it was just static. C835, no. I take it that's the Mike Stone, no. Mal's pre-ordered Lisa's book. Yeah, that'd be interesting to read. I do have to wonder how much of it will be about Elvis, because of course she was very young when he died. Exactly, that's my sentiment. He's just cashing in. He thinks, oh, it's my turn to make some money out of Elvis. Tony's looking forward to Lisa's book. Yeah, it'll be interesting. The cover's a bit unusual. There can't really be many books apart from Lisa's that can really add anything new. Something I'm getting really fed up with on YouTube, you may have noticed this, are the AI Elvis documentaries. You can spot them because the picture is a really awful, is always an awful AI generated picture of Elvis that's complete rubbish. Harold, do you like fire in Toledo? I do, I just wish it was longer. But it's great that it's survived. Tony, didn't Elvis ask Red West to go and kill him? Well, that's the story he's told, but of course Elvis isn't around to tell his side of the story. And people who are upset and angry say things and they don't really mean them. Mal, sounds like Lisa's book has been heavily censored. Harold's 70th anniversary of That's Alright coming up. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all we've got to look forward to, really, as fans. Anniversary rehashes of stuff we've already got. You have to wonder when it's time to sort of say, no, I'm not going to buy that. Sean's going to do a Halloween special on the AI freak shows. Have I still got it on here? Just to have a quick look. Talk amongst yourselves. Where is it? I did spot one earlier today. That was pretty awful. Probably won't be able to find it now I'm looking for it. There's a particular channel that seems to... There we go. So you can spot the AI generated documentaries because they have pictures like that. Horrible. I'm also getting fed up of these AI generated new Elvis songs. Because of course there are going to be people who hear them and think it's Elvis. See, another thing I've got a little problem with, which is all of the outtakes being on YouTube. And I have seen people reacting to Elvis songs. Somebody was listening to The Sound of Your Cry, but they were listening to an outtake, which wasn't as good as the master. So that's another problem. I see that what's his name directed the Elvis film, the Australian chap. My brain's not working today. Somebody tell me. Baz. I see that he has said now on camera that the Elvis concert movie is definitely happening. So that's going to be exciting. Poor, when I was a kid, I swore blind it was Elvis singing Lonely This Christmas. Sean, just awful. I've always wondered why Elvis always got a raw deal when the Beatles seemed to get a free pass. Yeah. There seems to be this thing in the music press, but I think because Elvis was so massively popular, they don't want to credit him. They dismiss him. It didn't always used to be like that, though. You just look at all the great performers that came around in the 60s and 70s, nearly all massive Elvis fans. But, There's a lot of things that have worked against Elvis. The impersonators, and of course, probably 95% of them are just not very good. But that's the Elvis that the general public tends to see. Oops. We've got 25 people here now, so you can all witness. So these are all the people who entered. 18 people, the draw. So let's see who gets spin out. It's all stuck together. Mark Kinsey. So now he just has to get in touch with me and send me his address. So you'll get that in the post when I know where to send it. So well done, Mark. Oops. I suppose I should say that you have to be watching the live stream, but I didn't. Maybe next time I will. Maybe next time I'll put a time limit that you get 10 minutes to give me your address, or I draw again. That'll make people watch. Well, good to hear Elton John say Elvis is #1, despite what the Rolling Stones magazine print. The Rolling Stones have got no credibility at all. They're part of the problem, just like Billboard. Billboard, who changed the rules so that they could get Elvis off the #1 spot for #1 records in America and put the Beatles on top. I will give Paul McCartney some credit. When he went to visit Graceland, he came out and he said, I always thought that we, the Beatles, were the biggest selling artists in history, but I know it now. I know it's Elvis. So I've been watching a lot of other people's channels. I was thinking maybe we need to do a list of all the different Elvis channels. Because it does form a little community. We're all keeping Elvis's name alive and working towards the same ends. And we all learn from each other. Though there is a risk, of course. Before I started watching David's Elvis in Japan channel, I had one Japanese CD, that was it. And now, a lot of money later, I think I've got 60 albums. God knows how many singles. I've avoided the CDs so far. But I do like the Japanese releases. I just got that one. I just love the different artwork. And then those were the last two singles I picked up. and the promo of It's Impossible, which is somewhere. I did try and put them in order, but I was after this for a long time, and David tracked one down for me. Only released as a promo. Oops. But there are some very rare and very expensive Japanese singles. I love the Charo one. I would love to get that, but it's about £275, I think, is the cheapest one I've seen. Sean's got to go. Thanks for popping in. Look forward to your next video. Yeah, we should get together and do something. Oh, got to keep an eye on the time because I have to take my pills. Right. Okay at the moment. So what else has been happening in the Elvis world? The never-ending stream of repackages seems to keep up. I'm trying not to buy them all. It's just getting out of hand. I'll keep up with music on vinyl because I do want to get all of them. Tony, we must keep the memory alive. Absolutely. Harold, I got the worst Elvis Christmas cover CD. I think I know the one you mean. It is, if I can remember where it is. When I saw it was so bad, I knew I just had to buy it. My room's in a bit of chaos at the moment because I stupidly agreed to do an exhibition next Saturday. Medals. I also collect medals, and it's the work I do. That one. I'm assuming that's the one. Bye, Harold. Thanks for popping in. That is pretty awful. Paul, there's a record shop in Solihull that has the Japanese Charo, but they want 300. Yeah. I do find it's cheaper to buy direct from Japan. And there is a company that I assume they bulk ship orders to the UK, so you actually pay a reasonable delivery rate. So I tend to buy a box of 5, 6, 7, 8 albums and singles and things. But it's a lot cheaper to get them direct from Japan. Where do we get to? Mal, don't get into Japanese vinyl. Got one promo of Blue Hawaii. Yeah, once you start buying the Japanese stuff, it's just so good. Eleanor, hello. Where do you find most of your vinyl? Well, I live on eBay. I'm always, luckily because of my work, I can keep a close eye on it. I use Discogs. There are 3 or 4 independent record dealers that I keep an eye on. We do have a record shop here in Cheltenham, which I've bought a few bits and pieces from. But I do also search abroad. I bought some albums from Uruguay from a dealer. I like the unusual albums. But it is getting to the stage where the things that I need are the very expensive ones. I would love the Japanese Christmas album with the baubles on the front. I would love the New Zealand Christmas album with the church on the cover, but they're big money. Horrible cover, it is indeed. What makes me laugh, of course, the American Aloha from Hawaii did pretty much the same thing. Photoshopped Elvis in amongst a group of women. And that too looked awful. Rob, have you made it to the exhibition in London yet? No, I haven't. I just haven't been up to doing the journey. I had to turn down an invitation to the Finnish embassy for a reception, and also one to an exhibition on the Roman army in London. I was also a Roman historian. I'm fascinated by Roman history. I just can't make the journey. Anything that requires any walking, I can't cope with at the moment. Paul, hello. What's with the hair? This is my my 6-month haircut. I say to the barber, I want it so that I can get up, I don't have to do anything to it and not come back for 6 months. So I like it nice and short. It's actually unusual for me to have longer hair. I've always kept it short, but because of the health problems, I haven't been to a barber for a while. So Paul just purchased Moody Blue with 2 obies. I've seen the one with 2 obies. I believe they added one because he died. In fact, I think on mine it's just got the one they added when he died. It didn't have the other one. Kurt, do you have all or most of the FTD LPs? I don't. I've got over half. What happened was, when they first came out, they were advertised through the Elvis fan club in the UK. So I started buying them. And then I went to Finland for 3 years. And I stopped buying. So there's a 3-year gap. When I came back, I didn't immediately start buying again. But luckily, I went on the Elvis Shop London. They still had quite a good stock of a lot of them. So I put in a big order, spent a lot of money, and caught up where I could. But some of the ones I'm missing are very expensive. So although I've got Blue Hawaii and Standing Room Only, I am missing some of the Elvis is Back, the Jungle Rooms sessions one. So I just think with the prices the way they are, it's not realistic for me to try and complete it. I have been lucky and bought a few at very good prices. As I say, I keep a close eye on eBay, and occasionally something will pop up with a buy it now price, and you see, wow, I have to buy that. So, but I've got, I'm not sure how many I've got. It's well over half of them. I'll have to count them. Rob, yeah, if they would just, I'm waiting to go into hospital and have the last artery fixed. That's what's so frustrating. The actual procedure takes about half an hour, and you can recover from it in about a week. It's just the long list. Of course, every time somebody has a heart attack, the list goes a bit further backwards. Paul, do you have many European sellers that won't ship to the UK? I've only come across that a couple of times so far. I get that more from America. I can understand they don't want to take the risk, but all the years I've been buying records from abroad, I've never had one damaged or lost. In fact, the only damage to a record I've bought from abroad, I did myself opening the package. I gave myself a good kick in. It was a Spanish copy of Madison Square Garden, and they packed it really well, and I got a bit frustrated, and I picked up the knife and did that, and when I got it open, I cut into the cover. But my fault. I learned a lesson. I don't know why it would be Brexit causing the problem, because when I do buy from abroad, there's absolutely no problem. Maybe they think it's more difficult than it actually is. Harold, do you like the new Moody Blue release? Yeah, I didn't get the original, so I like it. But I do like it. I think it's nice. It's well done. I've always found the cover, the front picture on the cover, there's something slightly odd about it, the way he's standing. To me, it always looks a bit awkward. But compared to RCA covers, I don't understand where RCA covers went wrong. Maybe HMV should have kept the contract, because HMV's Rock and Roll No. 2 is my all-time favourite album cover. And their Love Me Tender cover was really good as well on the EP, better than the American one. Paul, the second Obi says Elvis Forever was released 5 weeks after he died. Yeah, it's got 35 to 77 on it, hasn't it? Kurt, I'm missing a few of the earlier ones and can't justify the prices. I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's insane. That's why I wouldn't mind if FTD re-released like they've done with Moody Blue, some of the earlier ones. Of course, make the cover slightly different so that the originals keep their uniqueness and value. But Tony, what did you do in Finland? How do I answer that? I went to Finland because I met a girl. That's the best reason to move abroad. And we had a relationship, and she said, move here. I went originally to do some research, military history, and I met her there, and we got on really well. And I ended up going and living there for 3 years. She came back and lived here with me for 2 years. And then she wanted to go back to Finland. And it just came to an end, which was sad, but absolutely enjoyed my time in Finland. Fantastic country, great people, and a fascinating history. And of course, I finally got around to writing my book, which is why I got invited to the Finnish embassy. George, hello. Do you have the original UK Raised on Rock? I do. Cost me a lot of money. But yes, I do. I haven't done a video on Raised on Rock, have I? I'll have to do one. Of course, the thing I really want, and I expect everybody here wants, is the single Take Good Care of Her. I've got a thing about your baby. I was beginning to think it didn't actually exist, but a couple of people have shown them on the Elvis Collectors Facebook site. So I try not to look, because in my brain I tell myself it doesn't exist. Does anybody here have it? the UK I've Got a Thing About Your Baby single. For those that don't know, at the time it was released, the same with Raised on Rock, there was a vinyl shortage in the UK. And so they imported albums and singles from America. So if you bought Raised on Rock or the I've Got a Thing About Your Baby in the UK, you were buying the American import. But they did make a limited run of both in the UK. I don't know. Does Paul know how many? It's not many. So you'll occasionally see the Raised on Rock album for sale. I've never, ever seen I've Got a Thing About Your Baby for sale. And I asked David as well, because he's looking out for it. He said he's never seen one. Man, Italy just got knocked out of the Euros. Paul's still looking for Polk Salad Annie UK sleeve. I've got it. I'm not 100% convinced that it was a genuine release. Is Paul Allen still there? Do you know if it's been confirmed it's a genuine thing? I'm suspicious of it because, of course, there were plenty of the covers with nothing on. Did somebody make them up? I don't know. But I do have it. In fact, I did a video showing the singles that use that sleeve with the Polk Salad Annual. If you go and look back on my videos. But can anybody confirm it's a genuine thing? Does anybody know who's been collecting a long time, Mal? Did you see it back in the 70s? George picked up the UK Raised on Rock for £2. That's it. It is possible. It's like I've Got a Thing About Your Baby. It could well be sat out there in a second-hand shop, a charity shop. They wouldn't have a clue. So it'd be 50p a pound. I do always look just in case every time I pass a charity shop. I've picked up some nice singles doing that. We're improved on what I already have. Paul, you'll see both variations in my next book. Right. When is the next book coming out? How did the sales go on the book? Have you got many left? For anybody that doesn't know, Paul published a book this year. If anybody's a serious collector of UK Elvis, this is the Bible. It's every possible variation, promos, everything. Like all books that are the definitive book, it's not cheap. But I always say, anybody gets interested in a subject, your most important first purchase, collecting anything, is the definitive book. So I deal a lot with militaria collectors, and they'll say to me, I'm interested in collecting whatever, what should I buy? And, which should I buy? And I always say, don't buy anything until you've bought the best book on the subject. Knowledge is everything with collecting. Paul, there is no Polk Salad Annie with a UK sleeve. It's a fake, right? I did wonder because when I got it, if you compare the font, there's a difference. And I thought, is this real? Good to know the answer. See, the other thing, maybe Paul will know, that there's always been a question about, is that I bought it from a reputable dealer who told me that he bought it a long time ago from somebody who worked at RCA. Now, I have no reason to disbelieve him. But again, I've always wondered, is it real? Now, I don't mind having it, but is it real? Right, so Paul's got 21 copies of Volume 1 left. So if you're thinking about buying it, I wouldn't wait too long. Volume 2 will be available from early September. Right. I'm looking forward to it. George loves his Japanese Love Letters from Elvis LP. The Japanese LPs are fantastic. The quality of them and the gatefolds, and including extra pages and posters and things, they really knew how to do it. Of course, us UK fans always missed out. We didn't get picture sleeve singles like the Americans got. We didn't get bonus photos. So Paul, Volume 2 will be 1966 to the end of 1981. Tony, my first book was The Boy Who Dared to Rock. I've got that, yeah. I can't remember. I think the first thing I had, is it down here, was that magazine from America. Where did I put it? I was looking at it only recently. I put things somewhere safe so that I remember where they are, and then I forget where it was. Paul, it's all right. You don't have to be. You don't have to be gentle with me. I was always suspicious of it. I got it because I collect My Boy singles. It's one of the things I always buy. Well, you got to have it, even if it's not genuine. Be brutally honest. I already know the answer from the tears. But this is why work like yours is so important. The other thing I really enjoyed seeing was the test pressings. Now I'm being very disciplined to stay away from them, but they are fascinating. I agree, Mal. You start looking out for variations. George, I have a USA copy of Good Times with pink My Boy hype sticker. Nice. I'm surprised that people haven't started faking the hype stickers. I've noticed on eBay there's a particular seller who's offering what he calls test pressings of albums, and I'm pretty convinced they're fakes. He's put up a series of what he calls metal discs by some strange company I've never heard of, with a sticky label on. One of them is supposed to be Is It So Strange? Live, 1957. These have got to be fakes. And now he's got on discs with white labels with RCA printed on and a signature. And again, if you're going to fake them, you can just fake these labels and stick them on regular copies. So you might have seen them. I'm very dubious. Rob, what's your thoughts on wax time releases? I like the wax time releases. They're not expensive. The covers are nice. I like them. I've got quite a few of them. George, many years ago on eBay, trying to sell fake Japanese style CDs. Yeah. It's like all these Korean albums. They've got really interesting covers on them, but do you class them as genuine? I don't think Discogs allows them to be sold, do they? Of course, they've got some really interesting covers, but I've avoided buying them. Paul, don't touch the Memphis Mansion test pressings. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's the same with promos these days. They're not promos anymore. They're just to sell to fans. George, Discogs have banned all fakes. I would like to get the My Boy UK promo single, but they want so much for it. It's one of the main ones that I'm missing. It's funny because promos from other countries don't seem to be that expensive. Kerry, hello. Kerry was the first person to pop up in my live chat when I first did one, although I didn't actually know that people could see me. Gosh, really getting warm in here. Oh, some of the prices on eBay are ridiculous. I see some things listed, and I don't understand. Somebody had a Japanese album, nothing rare, one of the sort of regular ones. Buy it now price £1,750. An album that you could buy, I've seen it for £35, and I think, what is going on? You see that occasionally, a common record with a buy it now price of over £1,000. Is there some kind of fiddle going on? Because if you think about it, it would be a way to launder money, wouldn't it? That's all I can think of. Paul considered buying UK demos, but it can get expensive because they're sort of £30 upwards for a single. I do have a couple, but I bought those many years ago at record fairs for like £5 or something. So because the collector in me, if I start buying them, I'm going to want to buy them all. That's the problem I have. Kerry, have you pre-ordered the Elvis Memphis box set yet? I haven't pre-ordered it, but I will get it. The CD and the vinyl. It looks good. I'm just it's a shame there's nothing new on it. I mean, we have to conclude now that this so-called recording of We Had It All doesn't exist, despite what the organ player said. Names are escaping me lately. He said he was in the studio when Elvis recorded it, and Elvis told Felton Jarvis not to release it. So you would think it definitely exists, but it ain't out, so I don't think it exists. Maybe it was taped over. Okay, I'm probably going to murder this. Vicriaco. Hello. Enjoyed the video on Date with Elvis, thank you. Oh, you got the Speaker's Corner. It is a very nicely done album. It's the first Speaker's Corner release that I've bought. I'm very impressed with it. This is the problem watching other people's videos. I was saying earlier, watching Elvis in Japan's channel has cost me a lot of money. But I've never bought anything that I've regretted buying, even if they do turn out to be fakes. I almost dread asking Paul's opinion now. Next you'll tell me that my Sun record of Elvis singing Rock Around the Clock is a fake. George, what's your favourite studio album of the 70s? Oh, I find these questions really difficult. I've got a thing for Promised Land, I think because it was the very first Elvis album that I bought on the day of its release with my own money. I've always loved it. I think it's a fantastic album. Didn't get the credit that it deserved. And I still love it to this day. So I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's my favourite, if I'm forced to choose. I still have my original copy held together with sellotape. I still remember the day I gave my mum the money and asked her to buy it for me because she was going into town. And she walked in with a brown paper bag, top folded over and sellotape. I opened it up, poured out this gorgeous album, gleaming. And from the moment I put it on, I just loved it. So it's going to be Promised Land. Do you think Speaker's Corner Elvis pressings are fake stereo? Now, here's the problem. You obviously haven't seen many of my videos. I have over 2,000 Elvis records. I don't have a record player. I will get one. I keep saying this. I will get one. So does anybody else has listened to a Speaker's Corner? Mark from Manchester, hello. Have you managed to get a copy of the Graceland special only? That's all right. I've got it on order. It's on the way. Yeah, I did buy it. It's coming from America. Apparently it's sold out. Paul, I don't touch demos. Yeah. I do see them occasionally, and my finger sort of hovers over the byte, and I start to, and I have to slap my hand away. That's why your book made it very difficult. When you see all these label variations of singles and that, I think, no, I can't get into that. But I did go and sort of look at all my albums and singles to see which I had. And it's like A Date with Elvis. I didn't realize, I don't know if you saw my video, I didn't realize about the stereo orthophonic, new orthophonic, stereo crossed out and new put in front of it. But when I saw that, I had to go and find the one that I was missing, which was the one with the stereo blocked out. I don't know, for some reason, I just like things like that. Harold, Sam Phillips recorded lots of Elvis, so it was recorded over. Apparently so, yeah. It's such a damn shame what we could have found. I think if I remember right, the tape with Harbour Lights on was found in a drawer. If I remember right. Of course, there could still be something out there. I'm a roustabout. Who knew that existed? The alternate version. You do hear stories that there are super fans out there who've got stuff that they're holding on to. I know that movie outtakes exist for a lot of movies that are in private hands. George, Promised Land was my first album. I was 11. I bought with my own money. Yay! Got the same story. How old would I have been? 64. Yeah, I was about 10 or 11, yeah. Yeah, released on Elvis's birthday. The other unfortunate memory I have of that period is the Sun front page. Elvis Fat and 40. Yeah, thanks. Last Chances, hello. Very generic question. Top 5 Elvis songs. Oh, now that would crucify me to have to choose a top 5. I did sit down and try once, and I narrowed it down to a top 200. Like 5. The truth is, it would change depending on when you ask me. There are songs that will always be, but I couldn't choose 5. Can anybody choose 5? Could you do it? I've seen videos where people do, their top 10 albums and things like that, and I think, should I do something like that? I just can't. I can't do it. Mark received mine the other day. The cover doesn't give you a number. I don't like that. I think all special or limited editions should have a number on, and they should say how many they're producing, because I'm convinced that a lot of these limited editions are limited to how many they can sell. And you also hear stories about limited edition numbered releases turning up with no number on them, which makes me suspicious. Makes you wonder if they are limited. Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of dodgy things go on behind the scenes. Paul, did you write your name on the Promised Land sleeve? No, I'm happy to say I never once wrote on a record. I've never understood why people did it. But I never did. I've bought a few with other people's names on the cover. Kerry, do you ever think the high prices on the FTDs will go down? Not for a long time. Maybe there'll come a day where Elvis isn't as popular and collected, but I think that's a long, long way in the future. So no, I think there will always be people that want them. I want them, but they're too expensive. But that will keep the prices high. So I don't think they will. I see Sony making a lot of money off the FTDs. Well, I don't blame them. You know, if you release a product that 6 months later is changing hands for 5 times what you sold it for, then you have to think I'm underpricing. The sad thing is, of course, it prices collectors out of the market because there's a lot of people for whom records are a luxury. Those of us who are lucky to have some spare money, we are the lucky ones. Where did I get to? Paul, I do wish Concert 77 would be enhanced and released on FTD. I agree, it's time. I don't understand why they're so squeamish about it. One of the encouraging things I like to watch on YouTube, you get reactor channels where they listen to something, say they are hip-hop fans, and they'll listen to things like Elvis, something totally unknown. And the reaction to Elvis, even the 77 stuff, is fantastic. They're blown away by it. And it's really encouraging. So I think it's time. Give us everything in good quality. Because, of course, do we still call them bootleggers? They're putting out enhanced material and people are buying it. Harold, I'm hopeful that Elvis 3 concerts in Canada will be found and released. Yeah, you would have thought they would have recorded at least one of them. Because we do have the bits. Now, the bits of recordings that we do have, they must have recorded more. Of course, that's how the Toledo concert was found. The radio station was there, and they just happened to record extra material. So you would think the same thing happened in Canada. It depends on your mood, absolutely. You know, there are songs that I will always listen to if I just can't help believing. I just love that. The whole arrangement, Elvis's voice, it's just pure class. So that's one that I would always sort of put up there. Tony, I have a soft spot for 40 Greatest Hits Arcade. Yep, absolutely. I've been trying to find the TV advert. It seems that nobody recorded it because I remember it as a kid, how exciting it was. And that was my present for Christmas that year. I told my parents, I want that record. because at the time I had mostly Camdens, so there was a lot on there I'd never heard. And it sold bucket loads, that album. Everybody had it. George, it would be great if FTD released the early vinyl albums. Yeah, surely they must get around to them eventually. Maybe the lack of a lot of unreleased material is holding them back. Last chances, Einstein from It's the Same, can be different every day. Absolutely. Luke Kelly, not a name I've heard. Mick Riacco, I love the 40 Greatest Hits double album. Yes, we all have memories attached to records. A lot of my very old records that I bought when I was younger, whenever I get them out, there are memories come back of when I first got them, especially the Camden Christmas record. I have, as soon as I see the cover, this image comes into my mind of a particular day, and I can see it absolutely clearly. The front room was decorated, the Christmas tree was lit. I was clearing up some stuff. I was hoovering, in fact, hoovering the carpet. For some strange reason, as a young kid, I enjoyed cleaning the house. I don't know why. Ice Station Zebra was on the television. The Elvis Christmas album was playing. The sound was off on the telly. My mum was in the kitchen cooking. And I just have that. It just takes me straight back there. George, my dad had 40 greatest hits on track in the car. 8-track. I don't have any 8-tracks. Never even saw one back then. Harold, Elvis 40 greatest on pink. Yep. Yeah, I got that. I've also got the French version of it. There are some other versions. There's a Brazilian one, totally different cover. Yeah. George, favourite TV ad 1981, KTEL, the Ultimate. Yes, I remember that one. But again, can you find it? They've got lots of old adverts on YouTube. And I've looked for various Elvis ones. I can't find them. They must still exist somewhere. My records, for various reasons, have become a bit jumbled up. And I've spent 2 days trying to find a particular copy of Moody Blue. It's in there somewhere. But because you can see this here, it carries on there, it carries on under there, and there are 3 shelves there. It carries on at the top here and back there. And it's there somewhere amongst all this. I am very slowly in the process of reorganizing it, but when you're lugging armfuls of records about, I can't do it because it sets my heart off. So I'm having to do it very slowly. And the one I can't find is the South African Moody Blue, where they've got the song titles on the front of the cover. It's here somewhere. Paul's retracted his message. Is it the secret of eternal life? Life for Brian. Tony's got the French one, yeah. Wow, George, the Ultimate TV one, Ultimate Live is on YouTube, right? Now find the 40 greatest one. Because I've looked and I can't find it. Of course, the other big release in a lot of our early collections was the Reader's Digest box set. Which back then was quite expensive. And my dad bought it for me, and you could pay so much a week, I think it was. And I remember opening that at Christmas and just, again, I can tell you exactly. I have 2 sisters and a brother, they're younger. So, of course, Christmas morning was chaos. And I put it on the record player, plugged in the headphones, and I could just stretch them far enough to get them to the coffee table, which was against the wall. And I led under the coffee table, headphones on, and listened to them. And there were so many songs on there I'd never heard before. And I was just blown away. So George can't find the 40 greatest advert either. It's a shame, because like you, I remember it. Paul, the album that hooked me was K-Tel Love Songs, despite the terrible cover. There's so many bad covers. What is this fixation with using drawings of Elvis? I mean, he's got to be the most photographed person in history. That was reinforced by that sun set that I showed the book. I mean, the amount of photographs of his early life I didn't know existed. So many fantastic photographs of him, and yet they get drawings, and they're never very good. Eleanor, one of my favourite LPs is Potluck. Yeah, I like Potluck. Despite the title, I've never liked the title, Potluck. To me, Potluck suggests mediocrity. What's for dinner? Oh, Potluck. I've never liked it as a song title, an album title. But the songs are good. Paul, I know, I'm hanging my head in shame. Trouble is, I'm not sure how to file them. What I was doing was putting all the girl happies together. But should I have original pressings, chronological? Because I need something that I can find what I'm looking for quite easily. Because at the moment, it's not good. I have tried to lump albums together, but they do get separated. Like I tried to have all the movie soundtracks here, and then suddenly there's like Elvis 30 #1 hits appears amongst them. And then I find it happened at the World's Fair up there, which was supposed to be the live albums. And the 70s albums were supposed to be there, and then I find Moody Blue somewhere else, and I failed miserably. So what does everybody do? Do you keep all your, all the girl happies together? Chronologically? Alphabetically? What's the best way? Mark, you're probably right, it is down to money. That's the problem, it was always down to money. All these different parties, they didn't have Elvis's interest as their sort of prime consideration, it was money. Tony's got to go. Thanks for coming. And for your messages that I get. I appreciate it, thank you. And good luck with your operation. Mal keeps his chronological. I do want to keep chronological order, but I have this thing about like keeping all the variations together. Mark, I store my records in release date and all the foreign releases the same, but by country. Right. I'm going to have to think about this and come up with a definitive answer. Because what I've got at the moment isn't working. And I want to find a particular record. It normally takes me hours to, unless I get lucky. I did try and have them in chronological order, but that's gone totally wrong. Because at the moment we've got King Creole, Girls, 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 Double Trouble, Girl Happy. Eleanor, I have mining country theme labels. Camden. Yeah. I have in fact tried to keep all the Camdens back here. But again, they're all mixed up. But I see the logic in all the Camdens being in one place. Like all my FTDs are up on the shelf over here. Paul, I organise my collection by record label. Yeah, that makes sense. Where it's a specific label to keep those together. I have tried to do that, but my MRSs for some reason have ended up all over the place. I've kept my music on vinyls. Well, I could say that I kept my music on vinyls here, but there's a bunch of them down here. I don't know why. I think I showed them and didn't put them back, so that's my fault. Keep all versions of albums together in chronological order. That's what I'm sort of thinking. Blimey, it's 2:36 in the morning. Go to bed. The name is Vac. Vac, nice to meet you. I hope to see you again. Thanks for staying up. Hope it was worth it. That you don't have to be up early tomorrow. Kerry, here in the States, RCA Sony aren't releasing any Elvis releases, just the Elvis Memphis box set. I suppose it is getting very difficult for them because there's nothing new, unfortunately. So like I said earlier, it's going to be anniversaries. Mark, blue Hawaii, do black large, then silver, then red, orange, etc. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But then I've done that, but then I've got like the foreign ones and the re-releases. So like all my blue Hawaiis except the FTD, which is over there, are along here. I'm up to 40 now, blue Hawaiis, and I've got my eye on another one. It's yeah, my wife thinks I'm mentally ill. She studied psychology in a university in Russia and worked in a psychological institute when she was younger. So she tells me I've got I've got a psychological order. She might be right. Paul's off to watch the football. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for disillusioning me about my two purchases. Look forward to the book. Thanks, George. Michael, hello. Michael comes in with a flash of lightning. David's still here. I like your room, David. Done a really good job. I like the artwork you did of the TV room. That looks really good. All you need on the other wall now is a working waterfall. If anybody hasn't seen David's channel, he's in Belgium, and he showed the work he's done on his Elvis room, which is really good. Michael, yes, I joined the group, having fun showing off my collection and seeing everybody else's. David's lucky that where he is in Belgium, all around him there are Elvis events going on, and it's easier for him to travel. Harold, did you get any new Bob Dylan? What did I get? I bought a promo single, first time I've bought one, which is dangerous for me, but I saw it at such a good price. I thought, oh, I like that. One thing that I want to get that I still haven't got yet is the Budokan set. Paul, where'd you get the t-shirt? I had it made. I had that poster printed, and when I ordered it, they said, do you want a t-shirt done? So I thought, why not? I think it's a fantastic picture. So what I might do, I think I've still got the file. If I've still got the file, if anybody wants it, because all you do is you send it to one of these online printing people, and you can have posters, t-shirts, anything done from it, which I think is a great picture. I'll see if I've still got it. I mean, if not, it's easy enough to do. I took the picture out of Sean Shaver's book, the one that looks like it's got the leather cover, and took a very high quality scan of it, enlarged it, and then sent it off to be printed. Mark, after Elvis's death, I store them orange, then blue, then black. Right. I think it makes sense. Michael, I'm the guy with Fred, my black cat, in the profile, right? You've got a black cat. We got a cat, or the cat's got us. Appeared in our garden one day many years ago and moved in. And now we're her lodgers. She's in charge. Paul just recently subscribed to David's channel. Jealous of the record fairs. Exactly. There's so many things going on around him. Michael, I'm not sure if I have David's YouTube channel. David, promote yourself. Here's your chance. Oops. So I was saying earlier, maybe we need to do a list of all the Elvis channels so that everybody can see what's available. Let me just... Right. Got to get the name of the channel right. Right. So there's David's channel. See if we can get you a lot more subscribers. And you'll find him videos of him doing his house up, not house up, his Elvis room. There you go. Michael, I'm at Kaimu 99. Is that a channel? We all need to support each other. We're all playing our part in keeping Elvis's memory alive and helping those new fans who are coming in. Right, so Michael's got a channel. I'll check it out. See, once we all know, we can all collaborate. Like David, Mark, and why do I have this problem with names lately? I apologise. Jesus. Anyway. LNAS. David seems to have a record fair to go to every weekend. Or an event. An Elvis event. I can't remember the last time there was an Elvis event round here. It's a shame because in Gloucester, the city about half an hour's drive from Cheltenham, there used to be a very active fan club. When I was younger, I used to go over. But I assume that the couple that ran it either moved away or died. We do have a record fair here in Cheltenham. I think it's 4 times a year. And there was actually one earlier this month that I wanted to go to. And I got up and got ready, but I was about to leave and my heart said no. So I was disappointed. It was very frustrating because the next day I felt perfectly fine. Mark, David, and Adam. Thank you, Kurt. Couldn't think of Adam. Annie, hello. The big AI event in London. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. Hopefully it will be good. What I don't understand is that it's not going to be like a concert. So I don't really understand the concept. I mean, I would have done a show. I would have done various. I mean, they could have done the 68 TV special using outtakes to create a totally new show. And my wife watches a Russian talent show, and they use AI 3D to create performances, and it's mind-blowing. They have cartoon characters that literally you would think have come alive on the stage. They move around and they do all sorts, and they look 3D. So you imagine if they had a square stage that you could sit around and there's Elvis doing the 68 TV special. How mind-blowing that would be. I wouldn't have thought that was possible, but having seen this show, I was totally blown away by it. Harold the King's Court with Ed. I'm sure everybody knows Ed. Kurt, do you keep up with the bootleg LPs and CDs that come out? I think the definition of bootleg has become blurred in Europe because, of course, we have semi-legal, or are they fully legal, releases now that in the past would be called bootleg. So what is a bootleg these days? I see them. They tend to be on the expensive side. There seems to be this thing now where they're not releasing one concert, say they're releasing a set of 4, and it becomes too expensive. I have that criticism of FTD. When it was the original, the very first one, reasonably priced. But these days, it's the multi-disc sets, 50, 60 quid, and I'm just not going to buy them. Whereas if they release them individually, for a year, that'd be fine. So I actually stopped buying the FTDs. I bought the sessions ones, but the live ones I stopped. I don't know how much will it cost. Yeah, I can't see them making it cheap. I mean, obviously it's going to cost a lot of money to set these things up because they have to build a purpose-built room. But, of course, we shouldn't be relying on AI. Elvis should have come and performed here. After a Lower from Hawaii, it should have been a world tour. That would have been the exact moment to do it, and it would have been absolutely massive. If he'd have come here to the UK, it would have just been bonkers. It would have been chaos. Paul's off to Belgium next May. Yeah, hopefully meet up. Kurt. Yeah, it's endless, bombarded with releases. Eleanor, the first FTD was $14.99. Yep. I've got all the early ones because I was just, as they came out, I bought them. Paul, only buy the bootleg LPs that come with a free CD. 50, 60 pounds each. That's the problem. It's all becoming too expensive. Michael 100% World Tour. Yep. That would have given Elvis the challenge, and he would have seen just how loved he was all around the world. Because everything you hear from people, he didn't seem to get it. The idea that he thought that he would be forgotten just blows my mind. A friend of mine bought me the most impractical keyring. A German grenade. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to do with that. I suppose I should pull the pin. The trouble is you take a few records out and everything leans over. I'm trying to keep it all level. That's why I put the big books in every so often, to try and keep it level. And there it goes again. I need to put some records back. I'm not very disciplined about putting things back. Michael, it's expensive to order from England, but I still do it. Too right, I buy from all over the world. My most recent new country was Uruguay. I ordered some records from Uruguay. They've got some fascinating covers. There's one Girl Happy that I just love and I want. I think it's, is it Argentinian? And Girl Happy is translated as Loco por las muchachas. Now, I don't know what muchachas means, but it sounds like it's crazy for the girls, something like that. Eleanor, I'm very selective in what I buy. You have to be. I wasn't. I went through a period where if it was Elvis, I bought it. But that way lies madness and bankruptcy. So although I find it difficult, I am sort of reining myself back a little bit on all the sort of new releases. I still have my things that I try to get when I see them, like Spanish singles. I've got into Spanish singles now. I've got all the UK singles except the one that nobody's got, and I've got all the American ones. I've got all the 70s Japanese ones, so now I'm going for the Spanish 70s singles. Which I think, if I remember correctly, are down here. Because I just like the different covers. So Moody Blue, looking very blue. I like this one. I've got a thing about you, baby. Or Estoy loco por ti, nena. Promised Land looks like Promised Land, except the back. So does TRUBLE. That's a promo. Burning Love, pretty similar. Steamroller Blues, Fool. I got this one recently. It was a re-release. Again, it was a promo. It wasn't expensive. So I'm looking out now for 70s Spanish singles that I don't have. And then it'll be German. I've got a few German ones. Once you get into the 60s, they tend to get more expensive. I'll blame the Colonel. Absolutely. This thing that, you know, the Colonel made Elvis, and Elvis wouldn't have been successful without the Colonel. Total crap. Elvis would have been a massive star if I'd have been managing him, if my mum had been managing him. The record companies, TV companies would have come after him. The promoters would have come after him. Hollywood would have come after him because he was who he was. Parker was a shyster, a con man. And Elvis outgrew him within 6 months. And then he damaged Elvis as an artist. And I have no time for him. As somebody said when somebody said, oh, the Colonel made Elvis. And somebody replied, well, tell him to make another one then. Well, apparently Elvis had to be talked into playing MSG. He felt New York folk wouldn't be interested in him. It's weird how insecure he was. I know it's easy for us to say because we're all insecure. Even if we put on this brave face, we all have the voice in our head. Anyone that hasn't heard it, if you look up Ren, High Ren, I tend not to listen to new music, but I was totally blown away by him. So do yourself a favor, look up the video High Ren. Astonishing. So yeah, well, we know that Elvis was a shy individual, shy, humble country boy. But it is amazing to think how he didn't seem to understand. I know it's probably very difficult. We'd have probably been the same, couldn't comprehend just what had happened to him. Michael Machacha says girls, right. So crazy for the girls. Girl happy. I actually prefer crazy for the girls. David, I haven't been to Randers yet on my list. There's a replica of Graceland in Breda. How many replicas of Graceland are there? Harold, do you like the Elvis Styles Record Day release? I've got it on the shelf. I haven't even opened it yet. I will get around to it. In fact, shall I open it now? I have things that are sealed, but I'm not one of these, I've got to keep it sealed. I think, what's the point in having it if you're not going to open it? I'm pretty sure it's up here. He says. Hoping. There we go. Elvis Styles. Great cover. Right, let's get the knife. Try not to damage it. Oops. That should come off now. There you go. Let's have a look. So I like that. Let's get one of the discs out. Now that always surprises me. It's a French release, but it's in English. The French are very protective of their language. And it always surprised me that their Elvis album covers were in English. Let's have a look at the disc. Okay, so what do we call that? Transparent pink splatter. Nice. Now here we have the static problem. And I do wonder if it's the heavy vinyl. I remember once I had real trouble getting an album out of the sleeve. So, nice set. I haven't opened the other ones either. Oh, do you have Elvis on tour CDs? What, the bootleg ones are you talking about? Elvis on tour CDs. I have the same problem with my CDs. They're all over the place. I think I do have something. It might be in here. He said, hopefully. And then failed miserably to spot it. My CDs are in even worse condition than my records. I can't see it. I do have some on tour bootleg CDs. I think there were several volumes. No, if his mother had lived, it would have been different, I think. Yep. She, of course, saw through Parker straight away. So she would have been the counterbalance, and I think she'd have got Elvis away from Parker. I love the different coloured vinyls. Yeah, they certainly go for colours these days, the different... But in a way, vinyl was always coloured, because of course vinyl in its natural state is black, is clear. So they had to put black in to make them black. I don't know, I have most of the VPI releases. They are nice. Some of them are very expensive now. I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but recently I was lucky to pick a couple up, but I didn't have the Elvis is back and his hand in mine, which I don't understand. I don't think they belong together. I'd rather have two separate albums. And this one, which I really like, the cover, Elvis in Paris. But these are so expensive now. And for those who weren't here at the beginning, my two latest music on vinyls, Elvis 56 and Viva Elvis. I do find it strange that they chose to do this album, because there's a lot of original Elvis albums they haven't done yet, and yet they chose to do Viva Elvis. Strange decision. Michael, I have a tough time finding all the music on vinyls. Yeah, it's not easy. There's one I've not seen for sale. Elvis Sings, and it's all, the different artists' songs. I think I've got a CD of it. Which I'm sure is here somewhere. This is all the sort of CDs in cardboard sleeves. Where was it? It's there somewhere. There. That. Music on Vinyl did that. I can't find it anywhere for sale. Does anybody have it? I did receive a request to adopt somebody so that they would inherit my collection. The strange thing about music on vinyl is you can't order it direct from the people who make it. They have a website, but you can't order from it. You have to go to record shops. Paul, still trying to find Viva Las Vegas at a decent price. That is the problem with some of them. Is it up there? It might be one of the ones down here. There you go. So I picked this up last month. Right, it costs me a stupid amount of money, but I've got all the film soundtracks now except Girls, Girls, Girls. Took me a while to realise, of course, that that label means it's black and the gold label means it's normally a coloured limited edition. So you can get some that have got black and coloured versions, which I didn't realise at first. So that means you have to buy the same thing twice. I can find. So there's from Elvis in Memphis on black vinyl. And there it is on yellow vinyl, limited to 2,000 numbered copies. And the number is stamped there. So when I realised that, I had to check up everything that I had and found that quite a few of them had black or coloured versions. Well, I have the red vinyl record store day version of the Elvis Sings, yeah. Yeah, I think that is the music on vinyl one. So you've got it. Paul, do you have any Friday music? Nope, I don't have any Friday music. I've stayed away from it. If I saw the Blue Hawaii, of course I would have to get it. Somebody set me the challenge of getting 50 different Blue Hawaiis. I'm up to 40. But again, the Friday music was so expensive. And if I start buying them, I'll want to buy them all. I'm collecting too much as it is. I find it hard to resist an album or a single from another country with a completely different sleeve. I have this compulsion to buy it. But who wouldn't want that? German. And of course, in the finest traditions, the picture has absolutely nothing to do with the songs, totally different period. But a great cover. 8. Rob, the different sleeves are hard to resist. They certainly are. That's what really got me back into collecting, because after I'd been living in Finland and I came back, I wasn't really looking to add to the collection. And then one day I saw, what was it? It might have been a blue Hawaii with a completely different sleeve, and that kicked the bug off again, big time. If I stop and think how much I've spent in the last 10 years, I'd probably be a quivering wreck in the corner of the room. I've spent a lot of money. Michael, I've run out of room. I know. My wife has, what's the right word? Insisted that my collection all stay in this room. Now, it's not a big room. That's why I had this shelving put in, which didn't used to be here. And I've got a unit here that goes right up to the ceiling, another one at that end. This wall, I've got a wardrobe here, and I'm trying to sneak all the clothes out of it into the main bedroom so that it's empty, and then I'll take it apart, get rid of it, and put some shelves there. It's just if she notices. But it's not fair. She gets the rest of the house, because I used to have a lot of things on the walls around the house which all came down, and all her Russian things went up. It's never fair, is it? Someone always seems to, I don't know how she does it. Harold, any new CD singles? CD singles. I think the last one I got was not that one, if I can find it. Was that? Pretty sure that was the last single that I bought. I am finding it a bit more difficult now to find things I don't have that are affordable. Keith, what do you think is the worst RCA cover release? Now that's a big question. The worst. I never liked the American Sun. The drawing of him looks very weird. Sun collection. The UK one wasn't that good either, but theirs looked terrible. David, thanks for a wonderful live stream. I've got time channel. I have to go now. Right, David, thanks for coming, and good night to you. Rob, the wonderful world of Christmas. Let's see, I can probably think of some bad ones. Probably my least favourite concept is, you've of course got Having Fun on Stage, Ed's favourite album of all time. But Elvis Sings for Children and Grown-Ups Too is pretty awful. Let's see if I can see. I probably can't. Probably not where it should be. That I was never impressed with, because that image of Elvis is not the son Elvis. There are so many great pictures from that period that they could have used. That to me is Elvis 56, 57, not son. The American one's worse. Let's see if I can. And this is the problem, I can never find what I'm looking for. When you can do covers like this, far superior. On the most recent, that one. There are so many great photographs. I'm going to stick a drawing on it that doesn't look like a sun period. Elvis Sings for Children and Grown-Ups Too. Yeah, that's bad. Actually, I got it on CD as well, because you have to do these things. And then I came across, so there's the CD, which I'm sure sold in millions. And then I came across an RCA special product, Elvis Sings for Kids. Get the glare off. And up here it says early years. Teddy bear, wooden heart, 5 sleepy heads, puppet on a string, angel, old MacDonald, how would you like to be, cotton candy land, old Shep for children, probably traumatize them for life, and have a happy. RCA special products, 1989. I can't see who else is going to buy these except collectors. Made in Canada. The Sun Sessions is awful, but the Sun Collection is a cool cover. Yep. Most of the 70s studio albums with live pictures. Yeah, it was so there's just very little effort put into it, was there? They knew that they were going to make money. And FTD shows what could have been. Oh, just realised I have the black vinyl, music and vinyl Elvis Sings. So there's a black one as well. That makes it worse. So there's two I need to find. The King's Movies, hello. Not that I dislike it, but it always bugged me that the Elvis photo on Mood Blue was so small. I agree. Great big cover, empty. You have to wonder what they were thinking when they were doing the graphic design. I mean, what's the idea? But that happened quite a few times. There are lots of album covers where you look at it and think, what on earth were they thinking? Laid out badly. Harold, do you have Marlowe from Elvis? I do. Don't ask me to find it. It's probably back there amongst the Camdens, I think is where I would put it. The chances of me seeing it are not great. Of course, people might laugh about it, but it had the songs recorded after a low on it. There you go. That was all that. Pickwick. And again, we talk about poor cover designs. Laziness on RCA's art department, absolutely. I mean, I don't know because I only collected Elvis, RCA. I've got David Bowie, early stuff. Were other artists' art covers treated so poorly? Hard. I like the British Sun cover better than the US. I agree. Michael, my collection of last year. Paul never liked the reissue of Something for Everybody. Terrible artwork. It began to look more like a cartoon than a photograph. Very strange. Harold, they left a song off on the CD. You might be the only person that noticed. Eleanor, wasn't that down to the man? Yes. I remember one of the photographers was telling a story that he went to see Parker because they wanted a shot for the front cover of some album. And he said he laid out several shots and asked Parker which one. And Parker didn't even look up. He just went, doo. And he said he picked one that was slightly out of focus. So he couldn't care less. Harold, I got Marlowe on CD. I don't think I've got it on CD. Don't remember. I don't think I have. Michael, when Pickwick first came out, they were 99 cents. Wow. For some reason, they have a bad name, don't they? The people look down on them. I don't understand why. All right, they were cheap, but you know, when I think back then, I had a very basic record player. Would I have noticed the difference? It just sounded like Elvis to me. I think there is a little bit of snobbery in the audio file community. You know, we buy these 180 gram virgin vinyl. Does it actually really make a difference? I doubt it. It's down to the quality of the recording, the original recording. Oops. Well, Mark hasn't shown up and claimed his prize. I'll have to send him an email. Do you have any DVDs, Blu-rays of Elvis? Yes, I do. Would you consider doing a collection video of them? I suppose I could at some point. I see that Harem Holiday is coming out on restored Blu-ray, which is something. I haven't been collecting the DVDs, but I have picked them up over time. So I got the, if I can get it out, I'll have to move that. I picked up the Blue Hawaii Ultra HD, though I haven't got anything to play it on. And when I picked it up, they also had that for £2.99, although I can't leave that there for £2.99. And I picked up that set again. I haven't opened it because you can find all the films online. So and of course I've got the various That's the Way It Is and On Tour releases. Picked up the Ed Sullivan shows. I'm not sure I've got enough to do a specific video, but we'll see. The Marlowe CD is a Camden classic, right? I noticed there's quite a few of those Camden classics of the later Camden releases, which I've not bought yet. And then could FTD be doing that for the next vinyl release? I've got lost, which we want Girl Happy. They could do Girl Happy, but do the Loco por las Muchachas cover. How great would that be? Because they've been doing UK and American. Why not do something different? I would like that. Loco por las Muchachas. FTD. Of course, one of the songs, and I'm not going to be able to remember which, from Girl Happy, was originally recorded with an extra verse, which they cut out. And the question is, does the original tape still exist? Some Blu-rays are hard to get hold of in the UK. Right. I never actually thought about it. I know when I go into HMV, they normally have, that's where I bought those, HMV. I'll keep an eye out and see what they get. If I see one I haven't got, then I will buy it. Yeah, FTD could also do things like Harem Holiday, but do the Brazilian release, which I can't remember the name of. Dane, hello, thank you. I remember when I recorded my first video, I think it was on HMV releases, why they released on HMV in the UK. And I actually thought, is anybody going to be interested enough to watch? And I was really surprised. I wish I could make more videos more often, but the way things have been at the moment, it's been difficult. JLS Blue Wire, World's Fabulous Looking Creole. The only Elvis to get UK Blu-ray treatment. Right. I'm surprised. You would think that they would do them all. Yeah, here I'm scaring. I think it's called something Fiesta en el Harem, I think, if I've remembered right. Fiesta en el Harem. Harold, do you have the $1 Million Quartet CD? I honestly can't remember. I'd be surprised if I haven't. But spotting it is another thing. I'm pretty sure I have got one. There are several, aren't there, that I'm sure I've got one, but if I'm going to be able to spot it. I got that recently, which was surprisingly hard to find when I was looking for it. I managed to track one down. I would say yes, I have, but finding it is another thing. That was another fairly recent pickup. Gracia Divina from Argentina. All the song titles are in Spanish. I can't see it, but I'm pretty sure I do have one. I shall have to do a search. Where do you tend to search for second-hand Elvis media? eBay, Discogs, and there's a few places like Windmill Records. What's the other one? There's another one I found quite recently that I found a couple of music on vinyls I didn't have on. I forget their name. I also keep an eye on several foreign record dealers' websites. Record City in Japan. I try to go to, we have a fair here in Cheltenham 4 times a year. I try to go, and there is one second-hand record shop in Cheltenham, but it opens at odd times, and it's difficult for me to get to it. But when I go, I normally find something. And I do, anytime I see a charity shop, I do go in and have a quick flick through the records just in case. Because I know that one day I'll go in, and in their 50p record section, there will be the UK I've Got a Thing About You Baby. It's going to happen. In my dreams. Something I have been buying recently are these Time releases. They've done a whole series of them. Time Life Music. Let me see the logo there. If it'll come into focus, it probably won't. So they all have this similar covers, and I've got quite a lot of them. I don't know exactly how many there have been. They have different themed. What was that? 10% discount. Didn't notice that. Off my next order. So there's been quite a lot of them. So how many more I've got to find, I don't know. And they're all 2 CDs. And then I found a couple that are from Time Music, but they're not part of the series. Love songs and rock and roll. I know there's at least a couple that I don't have yet. I don't know how many there are in the total. 15, Paul says. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. So I've got 12 of the series and then the 2 odd ones. So then I should have 3 to find. Harold's just completed the set. King's Movies. Right, so you've just started out collecting vinyl. Ouch. It's expensive. If you're going to collect seriously the originals, then we talked about this earlier. I would advise to get Paul Alner's book. It is the Bible on British releases, albums, EPs, and singles. And Paul's got all 15 as well. Do you have the Time Life Rock and Roll era CDs? Is that the one that I've got the Elvis? I've only got the Elvis volume because I have seen that there are other artists. There's Time Life Rock and Roll era CD called Elvis the King, 54 to 65. I know there are 3 or 4 dated ones. See, that one's called Treasures 60 to 63. Is it part of that lot? '54 to '65. No, I don't seem to have that one then. I got that recently, promo. Now, according to what I've read, it's a very limited release, yet I've seen several for sale recently, which makes me suspicious. From Memphis to Venice. So I'm not sure about that. Just want to get a release original repress in true mono or true stereo. There are some good series of not too expensive represses. The International label, Green, they're good, and the Modern Black are a good series as well, and a lot cheaper than buying the originals. Michael Robert Presniano vinyl books. Yep. Yeah, limited edition doesn't mean limited edition, or it means limited to how many we can sell. I'm saying if it's going to say limited edition, it should have a number physically on the cover, and it should state how many. Because you do hear of limited edition FTDs and things like that turning up with no number on them when they're supposed to have numbers on, which suggests they're making more than they say. Easier and more affordable to order file in regards to digital files rather than vinyl pressings. But there's one very important thing, one reason why I couldn't do digital files, and that is, of course, this cover. The covers are just fantastic, and they're a huge part of buying a record. When we went to CDs, it's something that I really missed, because you could only get the CDs of some releases. They didn't do vinyl, and not having the vinyl covers, those small CDs, it just wasn't the same. Harold, there are 2 Elvis Rock and Roll era CDs. You showed the first one. Right. Okay, so I'll have to look out for another one then. Covers the only reason I get vinyls. Absolutely. It's a good reason, though. Covers are important. It was, let's see, we got, if I can see it, there you go. You see, when I was a lad, an old Shep was a pup, we go to the record shop and that's what we get. But if you're in America, that's what you got. We were shortchanged big time. When I found out about American covers, oh, I was so disappointed. And I promised myself one day I would get all the American singles with picture covers, and I've done it. No, there's nothing like vinyl LP covers, absolutely. Never understood why we never got the covers. I know. And we never got the bonus photographs. Michael, sometimes we didn't get the original covers on singles. One of the first things I did when I started work was to find a source to get the American. Some EPs have got in there somehow. To get the American singles. How on earth have my EPs got mixed up? Of course, there were some that were released in company sleeves, but I made it my mission. But it's so bad, it's actually good. To get all the US picture sleeves. I see these have all got mixed up because I did have them chronological. Some of them more difficult to get than others. That's the correct American sleeve, America's sleeve. That's the incorrect sleeve, America the Beautiful. So if you're collecting them, you've got to get two of those. Because they first released that one, and then somebody said that's not actually the title of the song. So they put that one out. I like things like that. Think Beatles, hello, how many years you've been collecting? My channel is called TCB since 73. So 1973 is when I can say definitely that I was buying Elvis records. I'd been given records before that by various family members. But 73 was when I started. Pocket money, going into Woolworths and picking a Camden. On birthdays, I could get a regular record. Which was a big treat, going into an actual record shop. I'd have been about, 9 years old. So Woolworths was where we went for records. And of course, it was Camden's. So when I had pocket money, birthday money, Christmas, it was a trip to a shop called Stylus 4 back then in Cheltenham. And just being amazed to see these records that I hadn't seen before. I always remember seeing He Touched Me for the first time. And I couldn't afford it. Paul, you mentioned Windmill Records who recently purchased Portuguese and Brazilian. Yeah, they're a good start, and their prices are very reasonable. I've bought quite a lot from them. I keep an eye on their. I keep getting tempted by the French singles with picture sleeves. The French did a whole series of them. Nice picture sleeves. I keep getting tempted by them, but there's a lot of them, and they're sort of £20–30 a piece. So I've stopped myself. Harold, I like the Perfect for Parties EP. I have it on CD. I actually picked up the CD quite recently. I've got the EP, which I think I saw down here somewhere. That's a coincidence. So there's the EP. It wasn't until I got the EP I realised that Elvis is actually talking on the disc between the songs. I thought he just one song. So if you haven't heard that, Elvis is actually talking. He's introducing each of the songs on the EP. And then recently I got the printed in Germany. When I bought that, I also got that. It's French. So it's a CD version of an EP that was put out in France. Well, I was surprised when I took it out because it's actually reduced size. Stuck to a card, so I've not taken it off. Mal's off. See you soon, Mal. Thanks for coming. The EPs always add covers. Yeah, I like the EPs, especially the American ones. Again, I think the American ones were better than the UK ones. Except for Love Me Tender. HMV's Love Me Tender is better than the American Love Me Tender. Let's see if I can spot it. Tried to keep all my EPs down here, UK ones, but that's obviously gone wrong. Pretty sure it's here somewhere. And there's one of the HMV EPs. Good Rockin' Tonight. All of the HMV releases have decent covers. So Love Me Tender should be here somewhere. But finding it. Well, my singles and EPs have all got mixed up. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen it. Paul, just seeing that Playing for Keeps reminds me, managed to pick up an original US sleeve from a charity shop for £3. Yeah. Charity shops are always worth looking. Michael started in 1971. That's the way it is. We didn't appreciate how lucky we were back then that Elvis was alive and then anything was possible. Used to get Elvis Monthly, the UK monthly magazine. It's hard to believe there was a little magazine every month. What I do remember is how excited we were in 1976. He'd been in the charts with Suspicion and Girl of My Best Friend off the Elvis in Demand album. Moody Blue came out, which was we all loved. We started to hear that there was going to be a TV special and rumours about a tour in the UK, and everything seemed to look like it was, an upturn. Which Elvis album do you have the least copies of? I can tell you which I have the most. Blue Hawaii. I've currently got 40 copies of Blue Hawaii, all different. The least, having fun with Elvis on stage. I've got one because you have to have one. I don't want another one. Of his original albums, that's a difficult question. I don't know. I've got multiple copies of everything. I've got a lot of fun in Acapulcos. What have I got the least of? Probably He Touched Me of the original albums. I've got a lot of Promised Lands, Raised on Rocks, Today's. I'm a bit crazy about it. Harold, what are the songs on that other CD you just showed? What, the Perfect for Parties? Michael lived 3 hours from Memphis growing up. Wow. So did you ever go when Elvis was home? Harold's got some of the the specials. I used to have the specials. I don't know what happened to them. I thought they were in the attic, but I've been searching. They may have been in a box that went missing, but I do remember them. Nine o'clock. Been going 3 hours, so I shall have to start thinking about getting off soon. Starting to feel a bit tight, probably from sitting. They always said he was on tour when we went there. Harold, what are the songs on the rock and roll CD? What? With Perfect for Parties. Oh, right, the French. I forgot to remember to forget. Mystery Train, I Was the One, Heartbreak Hotel. So there was actually a French EP at the time like this, and they've reproduced it. whenever I see something I want to buy, I always look to see if there's anything else, because you might as well, the postage, you might as well buy 2 or 3 things at once. So it's 7 minutes past 9. So I'll go to about 20 past, and then I shall have to get off. I need to take my pills and have a lie down. I find sitting too long, it starts to put pressure. Michael, did you get the new Moody Blue? I did. I got it because I don't have the original release, clear vinyl. So any new Moody Blue vinyl, FTD vinyls I will get, but I doubt I shall ever complete the set. Right, Eleanor's iPad's given up the ghost. Thanks for coming. See you next time. We've still got 20 people here. Anyone that hasn't said hello, say hello, so we know you're there. We don't bite. Like I ordered mine from England and Australia, and I haven't gotten the one from Australia yet. I've bought a couple of things from Australia, and they did seem to take a long time. But oddly, I've bought things from Japan, and they've arrived in like 6 days. Leonard, hello. Where are you based, Leonard? US. Harold, you've got to do this more often. I would like to do more videos and more chats. Once they finally sorted me out, I'll hopefully be able to do more. I do find I get tired quite quickly, and even just sitting here, after a while it starts to put pressure here. The medication is helping, it is making it easier. I just wish they would get me into hospital and do the procedure, because fingers crossed this should be the last. Which record spends the most time on the turntable? I can honestly say none of them. I haven't got a record player. This has been an ongoing theme. When I moved to Finland in the year 2000, my record player didn't go with me. My parents had it. When I came back, I had everything on CD. I do want to get a record player, and I will. I just haven't yet. So I'm surrounded by vinyl, and I have nothing to play it on. Thanks, Leonard. I appreciate it. Most of the time I'm fine. It's just unpredictable. You would think it only comes on when I'm doing something, but sometimes I can just be sat and my heart starts. The worst of it is I've got a spray that I have to use if it gets really bad. But every time I use the spray, it makes me pass out. I come to pretty quickly, but it means I have to be careful where and when I use it. Though since they've put me on these new pills, I haven't had to use it, so hopefully I'll be fine. Turntable for Christmas. We'll see. Do you have any other types of memorabilia? I used to. I haven't bought anything recently, but I used to. Before I went to Finland, I had quite a lot of things. You know, the statuettes, clocks, mirrors, an Elvis radio. What else did I have? Quite a few framed posters. But since then, one thing I did buy, because when I saw it, I just thought, oh, I like that. Is my nipper. Is metal. Oh, I did like that. Don't think I've bought anything else. I have thought about buying the radio again because I've seen one for sale. It's one of those things that was so kitsch that it's brilliant. I might get the radio again because it's so awful that it's good. Harold got the white Christmas. On this chat thing, they've put this heart symbol and it blocks the end of the sentence, which is annoying. So I can't actually read the full sentence until it goes up one. I assume that's CD. I got the white Christmas CD with Elvis from Loving You with his guitar. White Christmas CD with Elvis from Loving You with his guitar. Thanks. Moved it up. I can't recall that. White Christmas CD with Elvis from Loving You with his guitar. I've got about 20 Elvis Christmas CDs now. Have I got that one? Don't recall it. Let me have a quick look. They all blur into one after a while. The Christmas CDs. That was the last Christmas CD I got. I like the cover. See if I can get them all off the shelf. Oops. Elvis from Loving You with his guitar. Well, that's not from Loving You, but I got that one. Christmas with Elvis. That's a Sony BMG. Oh, they're piling up. No, that's one I'm going to have to find. I don't remember seeing it. I'm collecting all the Elvis Christmas CDs. Me too. So how many have I got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27. I've got 28 Elvis Christmas CDs, but I don't have that one. So that's one I have to find. Oops. Oh, 29, because there's the time music one as well, which is separate. Now, what did I do? 30. What did I do with that? Right, so I've got 30 Elvis Christmas CDs, but I can't see one with Loving You on it. Oh, and there's also those that were I've actually got some more. So this is me scrambling to find things. Okay, so that one was one that was given away with a newspaper here in the UK. And in fact, they did that several times. Oh, I've got that one as well, which was VPI. Now I forget a lot what I got. That's a French single, Love Me Tender and Love Letters. I buy these things and then if I saw that for sale again, I'd buy it thinking I haven't got it. And of course that one, which I'm really pleased with. Now there's a whole series of these. They're very expensive if you can find them. So if you've never seen it before, every year Graceland would send a Christmas CD to the presidents of all the fan clubs around the world. So this was 2001. So they always have really nice covers on. So they're not easy to find. And they normally have a message from Lisa and Priscilla. And don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's got Graceland at the bottom. Probably can't see it. If you can ever find them, they're not cheap. So I was really pleased to get that one. That one, that's Belgian. David's Gone. That's a Belgian one. I actually quite like that effect. And this, I think, is Dutch. So I've actually got more Christmas ones than I realised. There's another the one that was given away with the newspaper. The ultimate Christmas, apparently. So I've got more than I thought, but I don't seem to have the one you're talking about, which I don't remember seeing. Have you got the bizarre Christmas? Yes, we showed it earlier. We were saying how awful it is. That's the one that I showed it earlier. See, this is what happens. I get something out, I don't put it back where it should be, and then when I want to find it, it's not there. We were only talking about there. That one. Everybody must get that one. It's so bad. So bad, everyone should get it. But of course, they're only copying what RCA did on the Aloha from Hawaii release in America, where you have Elvis superimposed in his jumpsuit amongst some Hawaiian women. Harold, it's called White Christmas. I'm going to have to look out for that because I don't recall it. The Christmas VPI came as a CD and vinyl. Now, when I bought that, I actually thought I was buying the vinyl. I saw it for sale. I didn't realize it was available on CD. I just saw the cover. So I bought it, and the CD I was very disappointed because the vinyl now is quite expensive. But yeah, they did a series of them. What were they thinking? Absolutely. Well, we know what they were thinking. They were thinking, oh, easy money. See, there is one Christmas. I also collect the Christmas albums. I've got loads of them. But there's one I just refuse to buy because they put so little thought into it. It's the one where he's got a red nose. And I just thought, no, I'm drawing the line there. I'm not buying that. Tony's back. Couldn't stay away. Oh, you missed amazing things. You won't believe what happened while you were gone. Somebody on eBay was offering all those VPI EPs. I almost bought it because it actually wasn't a bad price. They had the whole set. I'm trying to cut back on what I'm spending at the moment because since my wife is recovering from cancer, she hadn't been able to work, which of course makes things a bit difficult. Got to pay the mortgage. Apparently the mortgage is more important than Elvis records, which was a strange concept to me that had to be explained. But I've just Googled the red nose one. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? They put so little thought into it that I drew the line there. It's the first time I've seen an Elvis Christmas album and I haven't bought it. Two Christmas albums I would love to get, but they're both very expensive. The original Japanese one with the red cover with the baubles on. There's no Elvis on it. It's just such a classy cover. I love it. And the other one is the New Zealand cover with the church and Elvis appears in the sky. Those are two I would love, but they're very rare and very expensive, especially the New Zealand one. Big money. But we can dream. One day I shall retire. When I take my lump sum, I'll treat myself. Michael, you've never seen the red nose one. It's horrible. Just take a picture of Elvis and stick a big red nose on. Elvis the Red-Nosed Singer. Paul. Oh, they've done the same to other artists, have they? That company should be ashamed of itself. Sticking a red nose on Elvis. Oh, is it connected to the red-nosed charity thing then? That hadn't occurred to me. Still don't like it. Is there anything else? I've got a package coming from Japan with the From Elvis in Memphis quad, which I've finally tracked down a copy of. A Love Letters single and a Kid Galahad EP. Danny, hello. Very late, Danny. I was going to be getting off soon. It's been, God, 3.5 hours. I'm beginning to get a bit of ache in my chest, which tells me I've been sat too long. Paul's got the album on the... Well, you never know. You might end up having a rarity then if everybody else isn't buying it. If you have to wipe every Elvis movie off the earth apart from 3. You like to torture us, don't you? That's... Now, the problem with that question is the 2 documentaries, because whatever happens, you can't get rid of On Tour, and that's the way it is, which is unfair on the films. So it would have to be 5, which is still an impossible question. Which 3? I mean, the obvious thing to say would be Loving You, Jailhouse Rock and King Creole. But great films, but I can't say that I particularly enjoy watching King Creole and Jailhouse Rock in the same way that I enjoy some of the other films. They're great films, but would I sit down to watch them as an enjoyment thing? Don't know. Dan has just finished Charlie Hodges' book, Elvis and Me. Is that the book you're on about? I assume, because that's the one. I actually bought Elvis and Me on the day it was released. I was in Memphis, and Charlie Hodge was there for the release of his book. So this is the original, and Premier Limited Edition number 814. And he was, of course, there was a big crowd around him, and he was about to leave the shop. And he said, "That's it," put his hands up and went to walk out. And before he got to the door, I stepped in front of him and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Hodge, I've come all the way from England just to get your signature." And he laughed and signed it. So that's one of the few books I keep on my shelf, because most of my books are in the attic. So I keep that. I keep a copy of Elvis Sessions 2, and the other book, because it was one I read recently, but I think every fan should read it, is Destined to Die Young. You know, I was by training a historian. The work she's done here is fantastic, and it's very hard to argue with. And it makes a lot of sense of some things in Elvis's life that didn't make sense. So as much as I hoped that she was wrong, I have to conclude that she was right. And Elvis, from the moment he was born, was going to die young. So if you haven't read that, I would recommend reading it. It's a difficult book to read at times because she goes into a lot of medical detail. She goes into Elvis's family history. And of course, sadly, her theory's been proved right with Lisa Marie dying young. So if you haven't read that, I would recommend reading it, as hard as it is to read. Ah, Danny's got a signed one, nice. Tony, absolutely, it was in Elvis's genes. It was in the Smith family, unfortunately, and a long line of people dying in their 40s with various problems. Of course, today with genetics and that, they would be onto that, but back then they just didn't link them. Yeah, I saw something about the Elvis flying book. Yeah. Have you got it? Is it worth getting? Sonia, hello. Proud owner of Elvis's 1957 first pressings and the 62 and 65 Christmas albums. Fantastic. So these are the American. That American 57 Christmas album is, I mean, it's got to be the classic Christmas album of all time, of any artist. That's one time when RCA got it exactly right. It's only money. What better thing could you spend it on than a good Elvis record? Harold, I have a book, a video. I've seen some of her videos where she's being interviewed, yeah. Danny, I haven't got that one. I'll be interested to know what it's like. There's so many interesting books, but they're so expensive. I see the one about jewellery. I would love to have that, but too expensive. I actually do have a copy of the 57 Christmas album, the American pressing, and yeah, it did cost me a fair bit of money to get. It's in nice, very nice condition, but not perfect. But I should think it's hard to find a really good copy because the picture pages. Of course, everybody wants one with the silver sticker on the front. I'm going to get going. My eyes are getting heavy. I agree. I'm going to have to get off soon. But thanks for coming. It was nice to meet you. Hopefully, I've got nothing to do tomorrow, so I can rest. Right, it's 9:36. Well, thank you. I'm sure we'll meet again. I enjoy doing these. It's sometimes being an Elvis fan can be quite lonely. People around you don't really understand. Thanks, Tony. See you next time. Michael. I think now's the time to, as we say, draw stumps, which will probably stump the American viewers. Cricketing too. So thanks to everyone that came and took part. I've enjoyed it. I'll try and do more often. Once they sort my heart out, then things will be a lot better. I'll feel a lot more comfortable. Even just sitting, sometimes it gets a bit uncomfortable. So thank you to everyone that has taken part and watches the videos and leaves comments. I read every comment. And hopefully see you all again soon. If I do disappear, it means they've called me into hospital. But I shouldn't be gone too long. So thank you, everyone, and good night. Or depending on where you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.